Bobby's most disliked commissioner in all of sports, Adam Silver, was on the Pat McAfee Show yesterday, and Silver was asked about us. We're, of course, a national topic with all the Luka outrage and the Nico secret meetings. And Bobby has been talking about this for weeks and weeks and weeks, that Adam Silver should have pulled a David Stern and stopped this trade. McAfee asked Silver why he didn't do it.
Yeah, so first, just to clarify, I don't, or the commissioner doesn't have the right to block a trade other than a trade not conforming to our rules. So, okay. and you alluded to David Stern once blocked a trade, but I get how confusing it was to fans, but he was both the commissioner and the acting owner of the New Orleans franchise at the time.
Got it.
And so a trade was recommended to him by the general manager, and he turned down that trade based on what he thought was in the best interest of that franchise.
I forgot that. I forgot that Stern was actually temporarily owning them, because I was ticked off and I was like, this is messed up. You should allow these teams to go ahead, go about their business. But David Stern was operating the New Orleans franchise, I guess, and was like, nah, this ain't going to be good for us.
Yeah, I guess it's similar to when the Rangers were going through the transition, the sale from Tom Hicks to the Chuck Greenberg-led group. They were in a similar spot where I remember people were frustrated and wanted Tom Hicks to add something at the deadline or do certain things. And the league, because of where they were at, and Tom Hicks and the team, I think going through bankruptcy at that point, were at a point where the league had to approve any transaction the Rangers made because of their financial situation. And so that makes sense in that sense. What doesn't make sense is that Adam Silver hasn't gotten in the way of the Mavericks shooting themselves in the foot for the last 2 months from a PR standpoint.
So you're okay at the end of the day that he didn't block it?
I would like there to be a rule that would allow him, but given the explanation, that makes sense. And so I understand if he can't, but somebody's got to step in and, when they get wind of it, try to discourage it at least. Like, guys, this is going to create a total unbalanced situation. Would you just think about it? And B, somebody talk to them and get them out of their own way with some of the PR issues that they've had. Because as Bontemps said the other day on that Hoop Collective podcast that we played clips from, he said you could make an argument that what they did in the 2 months after is just as bad as what they did with the trade. The way they have handled every single response has been so bad. And the league just kind of shrugs their shoulders and goes, what are we going to tell them to do? We don't know.
Adam Silver says, well, we know that Roger Goodell has done this with certain NFL teams.
Yeah.
Like, he's gone to them and was like, clean your S up. Stop embarrassing the Shield. Adam Silver says he understands the outrage, the anger, and the revolt in DFW.
So I get the fans' passion. I understand, again, why Dallas Mavericks fans are so upset. I personally am a fan of Luka Doncic. I think he's a great young man, and let's see how this turns out. I want him to be great. I want the Dallas Mavericks to be great. But but there's no doubt. I'd say I've been in the league for a long time. It's been remarkable, I think, how much interest there's been in this trade. Maybe because you have the Lakers on the other side of it.
Yeah.
You have the happenstance that Mark Cuban just recently stepped out as the owner of that team. So a lot of chatter around it, but we'll see when they play the games how this works out.
Yeah, it's good for you, all the attention and the noise. It sucks for us, man. Yeah, it's good for the league. It's good for you.
Well, I mean, I'm getting really tired of we'll see how it plays out. No, we know how it's played out. So far, it's been really bad. It's been awful. It has been disastrous to this point, and their responses to it every turn has been disastrous. But I mean, again, we talked about it yesterday. They want to hang up their 2.5 quarter banner. They want the, yeah. That's what they want to put up there, and that's what they want to claim. It's just like, see, we were right. We're just never going to be able to see what I envisioned other than 2.5 quarters. But I was right.
That's going to be the excuse. But then the follow-up to that is, yeah, we criticized you because we knew Anthony Davis wasn't going to be on the floor.
Oh, yeah.
That's why we were going nuts. So you have no injury excuse because injury was part of the criticism of getting AD here.
Yeah, and I mean, that's what we theorized this. But, again, that was something McMahon said the other day on that podcast was he said AD came back too early because he was trying to save Nico's butt.
Yep.
And look what it did.
Adam Silver on the Pat McAfee Show talking about Patrick Dumont.
In terms of the trade itself, look, it's obvious time will tell. The only place where I feel defensive on behalf of the Dallas Mavericks and new ownership there is there were some suggestions early on that the trade wasn't done for basketball reasons, that somehow new owner didn't want to pay a maximum salary or was focused on building a real estate development or something else. The only thing I can say, and I feel very confident in this, knowing Patrick Dumont, who's the governor of the team, and the people involved, they believed that they were making the best trade on behalf of the Dallas Mavericks. Whether that turns out to be true, again, only time will tell. I've known Nico for a long time, Nico Harrison. He was a longtime executive at Nike before he was at Dallas Mavericks. Again, whether or not he made the right trade, he's a really decent person. I know he's trying to do the best he can to run that franchise. It's been a rough time since they made the trade.
This is pathetic that the commissioner of the league has to sit there and go like, I know they think they're doing the right thing. I know that they really are.
Heart's in the right place.
And man, he's a decent guy.
Everyone keeps saying that about Nico, by the way. Good guy. I've known him for a long time. Really good guy. He's too good of a guy. He's too moral. His basketball morals destroyed an entire franchise.
I was going to say, I don't know. It sounds like there's about a dozen people who don't have jobs anymore who you could ask them, do you think Nico Harrison's a good guy? That would say, no.
Yeah.
No, I don't think he's a good guy. I think he's kind of a snake. And I mean, when you hear
That's Casey Smith.
I cannot wait for
that, by the way, got buried during the secret meeting when McMahon was pressing him. Why'd you get rid of Casey Smith and these other people who are regarded as the best in their field? Eventually, after the back and forth, the answer came back from Nico. Well, the other people we brought in were better. And I was like, ooh, that's stinging.
It's just he is so passive aggressive and so petulant, and I cannot.
It's amazing that someone that seems this socially awkward could have these Nike relationships behind the scenes.
See, I feel like Dumont's socially awkward. I feel like Nico is almost, for lack of a better term, psychologically abusive. And so I could see how that would actually operate in the right realm in the dog-eat-dog world of like the shoe game. But my gosh, I cannot wait for McMahon's article to come out whenever he addresses the Dirk thing. And then I want to hear Adam Silver answer that. Why justify this? Justify them basically freezing out the person who built Dallas basketball.
Of course, the fan text is saying, look, it's all set up for Vegas. It's obvious. You've called it from day one on the fan text. They're moving out of here. They're trying to gaslight and ruin the fan base. Adam Silver addressed that.
They're not going anywhere. There's no thought of that team going anywhere. It's true that the group that bought the team is out of Las Vegas, but they couldn't be clear, and I just want to make sure that, well, there's no doubt people have been talking about it, and it'll turn out over time to be a good or bad trade, but there were no ulterior motives there. This team is staying in Dallas. In fact, they're looking at building a new arena in Dallas, so that's that.
I cannot wait for them to put something on the ballot with this basketball team and watch that get voted down.
Oh, you think people will just not approve anything they want to do?
I wouldn't dare put anything on the ballot. They're not going to. They're not prepared for it. But if they were close and ready to put something on the ballot, I would say you need to wait.